Okay, so I'm not actually pretty used to this. I'm used to being on the other side behind the camera, except for recently when we started doing some live streams, so whatever. Today, I wanted to share with you an experience that I had, and I don't know. This instantly pissed me off, and I wanted to just kind of share with everyone in case someone was thinking about doing the same thing that I was. Recently, and I mean recently within like the past like 2-3 weeks, probably within the month, if not shorter than that, I started getting advertisements for a product called the Indestructible Shoe. And I'm going to use that, Indestructible Shoe. And if you're like me and you work in a shop, someone might have mentioned it, or it might have popped up on your YouTube or your Twitter or your Instagram or Facebook like it did for me, and that's kind of how I saw it. But I also saw it advertised in a couple of the flyers that I had gotten at work too, so I was kind of like, all right, the shoes that I wear now, before I bought these new shoes, are probably 2-3 years old, have holes in the sole, have holes on each side, on each shoe, where my pinky toe kind of sticks out on either side. So I was just being lazy, and I decided, screw it, I'll bite the bullet. I'm going to investigate these Indestructible shoes. So I went online, I did some researching. All the ads on their, or the reviews, not their ads, the reviews on their website were relatively positive. There was pictures in there, some people giving suggestions to order a size bigger because they run a little small. So anyways, I decided which ones I wanted. I found the style, because there's a bunch of different styles on here, and decided to order it. Now this is the shoe, for you, those who don't know, I'll just show this right here. This is the shoe that has the videos of them stomping on nails and taking a chainsaw to it, and some guys take hammers to it while their feet are in the shoes. And the advertisement actually on, we could probably switch over here, the advertisement on their website even shows it's like a die grinder or whatever. I don't know my tools that well, but just going at it, so I'm like, okay. Gives a little layout, steel toe cap on here, a breathable mesh, steel midsole, anti-slip rubber, so you're walking around a shop and there's oil or whatever, and I'm gonna guess that the steel midsole is to protect you from stomping on nails if you were a construction guy. One of the reviews and the videos that I actually watched was a guy that was cutting down a tree, and the chainsaw kicked out from him, and it cut one of his toes because it went obviously right through his boot. So he decided that he was going to invest in these, and I guess it's been helpful for him, so good for him, right? Whatever. So anyways, I waited a week and got these. Now, I'm going to first off start by saying I should have known better when I got a confirmation email saying that they shipped from China. So under the contact page, or on their contact page, I think it says they're located in Delaware, which I'm like, okay, American company, cool, whatever. No. Came straight from China, which, if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is. So today, first day, I got them last night. I put them on in the house just to try them on. I laced them up, nothing, no big deal, no problem at all, right? So this morning, I get up, go to put my shoes on before I leave for work, which is at 6 o'clock, mind you. So I'm not quite awake, but I'm awake. And I pulled my shoe on just like I always do. Pulled up the tongue because I'm slightly anal, and I don't like my tongue on each side of my foot. I like it in the middle going up towards my ankle. And I hear a rip. And I'll show you on this shoe. And yes, they are dirty because I wore them to work today. But right here, where you pull the tongue up, okay, I just kicked myself in the face. Where you pull the tongue up, it immediately ripped. The stitches ripped right out of here. And it is holding on this side, but here you can see this bump because the stitches are no longer hanging on to the tongue underneath. So that immediately pissed me off, and I guess I'm going to start with the negatives because I will go into some positives on these shoes. Immediately pissed me off. I was like, seriously? I just spent, These shoes list price go for $160 apparently. And the advertisement I saw was some of them were on sale, and then there was an additional discount off of whatever. I got mine for like $70, and I think total after shipping was $79. So whatever, I spent $79, $80 on the shoe, which I would spend that probably on Nikes or whatever if I were to get some Nike work shoes, because you know, in the shop that I work in, we're supposed to wear, you know, safety shoes or whatever. So that's one thing that kind of led me to this. But I walk at lunch now because I work a semi, you know, desk job. I sit behind a desk. Even though I'm in a shop, I'm a parts guy, so I'm the one ordering parts. And so I walk at lunch. So I kind of wanted another shoe that could be multi-purpose. On the website, I'll switch back over here. On the website, kind of all the way up at the top, it shows a guy running. So I'm like, okay, these got to be comfortable. These got to be really comfortable. If this guy's running and they're grinding stuff and stomping, you know, I don't know. If they're stomping on nails, I'll mute this so you don't have to hear the crap, but I'll play this video and see if anyone's interested. Now, if you Google search, this is the first thing you see. And you see this guy going at it, just trying to destroy these shoes. Okay? Whatever. Cool. I wanted a shoe that was functional, that I could wear to work, be safe in case something gets dropped in my foot, heaven forbid, or, well, not or, but and a shoe that I could comfortably wear and go walking with, so I don't got to jump back and forth between shoes. Not that that's a big problem, because that's what I did today, but it's convenience, right? So, anyways, lunchtime, I switched my shoes out. I went walking, came back, went to go put my shoes on, and the right shoe, which is the shoe, I'm going to keep adjusting my mic here, or my camera here. The right shoe, which is the first shoe that kind of heard the rip, let me know that my tongue was no longer in my shoe at all. So now I'm pissed. I can't get a hold of these people at all. And mind you, I'm a pretty angry human being. For those who don't know, I kind of go off the rails real quick. And I blame my father for that, if he's watching. Shout out to you, Dad. Anyways, I put 3 or 4 1-star reviews on these things to try to warn people, and I attached pictures and everything, and then they magically disappeared. And the one didn't even show up, so it's like, kind of like, was my IP address blocked, or did they just block my email because I have an account, whatever, right? I've contacted them 3 times and have gotten nothing back. I emailed 3 times. On their contact page, I'll jump back over. On their contact page, it's just a generic bullshit, hey, you have any more questions or concerns? Put out your name here in your email in the message, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours, which I'm not holding my breath, because at this point I've accepted that I've wasted $80 on these shoes. And I don't need to get a refund or return policy. Now, the return policy is a little strange on this, and this is just a warning for that. Return policy says that our policy lasts 30 days, and if 30 days have gone by since your purchase, unfortunately, we cannot offer refunds or exchange. If you're to be eligible for a return, your item must be unused and in the same condition that you received it in. Now, mind you, this automatically is a crock of shit, because unused doesn't help me 6 hours into my workday when my tongue gets ripped out of my shoe, okay? Because I've been wearing them. My feet sweat when I walk around, and they will sweat in these bad boys, let me tell you. These things are heavy compared to the shoes I wear now. I don't wear work boots usually, so I can't compare them to that, but I do wear like just athletic shoes, and they're pretty light. But these things are pretty heavy. My feet sweat normally in my normal shoes, so with these bad boys, they sweat even more, I feel like, today. Which automatically, to me, reading that, your item must be unused. I've worn them for 6 hours. That's no longer unused. It's not in the same condition because I've been walking around in oil and, might have stepped on grease, or might have stepped on tar, or might have, I have dust from the building. They're not in the same condition that I got them in. And they didn't fucking rip until I don't even know what to say. You know, they didn't rip until after lunch, which it was 11:30. I was putting my shoes back on, and I had them on since 6 o'clock. You know, so that's frustrating if I'm seeing that, and it also must be returned in the original packaging. I've gotten better about this. Usually Amazon's really good if you're trying to return things. I don't return a lot of stuff to Amazon. I've only returned like 2 or 3 things. And they're cool with like any box as long as it gets back to you. And they even, supply you a return label. But in the case that I got burned on some things, I started saving just for a couple of days the original packaging. So if they ever reply to me and want these things back after they ripped off in my hands, I can send them back in the original box, which is great. I don't even care about the rest of the refunds and crap, whatever. That's my little rant about what pisses me off. I spent, $80, and I got a tongue that's ripped off. Okay. I do want to talk about the pluses on these, so let's jump back over here. There is, believe it or not, there is some plus sides to this. Now, when I first put these bad boys on, I told you they're heavy. I was uncomfortable. I'm kind of, I'm really finicky with my feet, I guess. I don't like my socks bunched up. I don't like this damn tongue, on the left or right of my foot. I don't really like when if I slide my shoes on, I usually have them tied and they're just loose enough so I can get my shoes on. Because if I slide them on, I don't want the shoelaces like underneath my heel or in between my toes or something stupid. I'm really fickle with that. So when I first put these on, I got fat foot and I ordered a size bigger. I wear a size 10.5, or I wear normally a size 10.5, but I don't think they had half sizes. I think they're just full sizes. So I just ordered an 11 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I ordered a size bigger than what I wear. And it fits good, actually. It fits good along as far as how long my feet are. It's a little tight on the sides, and that bugged the shit out of me originally. But I got used to it, and they're actually pretty comfortable. I will say, however, my back started to hurt just a little at the end of the day, mainly because I slouch, but also because when I'm walking around, these things are really, really flat. There's no support in these things at all. So if you are a guy that has like bad backs like I do, even though I'm only 24 years old, you're definitely going to want to get like a, Dr. Scholl's or whatever and put it in here. Other than that they're pretty comfortable to walk around in. I do feel like since they're a little heavier, I got to get used to it. Everyone at work, the guy at work was telling me I walk like a duck, and I think I walk like a duck to begin with, but I kind of kick my foot out and my knee hurts a little bit when I walk, and so I kind of adjust for that. But whatever. The other thing, I kicked a brick wall today out of frustration, kind of joking, to test these things. I couldn't feel anything. I mean, obviously, you're like, oh, you kicked a brick wall. And I didn't kick it as, full-blown as I probably could have. But I kicked it, and, hey, it works. If I would have kicked it in my other shoes, I definitely would have had a bloody toe for sure. So that was cool. I did not, however, step on any nails or take a chainsaw to it or light it on fire or whatever. I haven't gotten to that far. The other thing, and I know this is it's not really like super important, but I like to look cool in my shoes. I won't lie. I'm sure a lot of people do. They got really cool designs, man. If this doesn't give you a Spider-Man PS4 feel without, with a little less black and a little more blue, even though, if this doesn't give you a Spider-Man feel, I don't know what does. But there's some awesome, awesome designs on here, to be honest. And I wish there was cooler designs in the real world on this that I didn't have to spend $150 for. Because I'd probably buy some. There's camo, and my internet's running slow now, but there's camo, there's bright blue, there's all black, there's like the dad shoe look if you want to do that. It's like gray, white, whatever. It's your preference, you can have it. But I'm pretty pissed off overall. I wouldn't suggest buying these. There's a lot of reviews online, and I guess maybe for firefighters who kind of just like walk around the shop, or maybe police officers who are, in and out of the field that kind of want something to protect. For construction workers, I don't know. I'm not a construction worker, but I definitely wouldn't suggest this at all. I feel like you definitely want to stick with the boot. That's another thing, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. This back part here, the steel toe, okay, it's cold. It stays cold if it's cold, and I'm sure it retains heat. I don't know. I've never worn a steel toe in the summer. But steel toes are cold. If you got cold feet, and I do, but I didn't really mind it. Steel toe, cold. The back part here, there's not like any, it's just hard plastic. It's just like a really hard, and it's pleather. That's definitely not leather. That's pleather. And I know that for how cheaply this is built. These, I felt like later on, after walking in this, these would be really easy to roll your ankle in. And I think it's because there's not a lot of support on the ankle part itself. Like, this looks like it's pretty high. It does. It looks like it's pretty high. But where my ankle is, that little pointy part of your bone, it like sits here. It's really strange. And this is like right on my Achilles tendon. It just stops there. I feel like if you're working construction or whatever, definitely get yourself some boots. For the guys in the shop, because they were all kind of curious, they're like, hey, if you're ordering these, I definitely want to check them out, because maybe we'll grab a pair, you know, 79 bucks, not too bad, because they're used to buying like Red Wing work shoes or whatever. You spend $150, $200 easily on Red Wings. I just think that for those guys, because they're on their feet all day long, they're stepping over stuff, they're underneath trucks, they're, you know, kind of straddling a pit. If you're a mechanic at like an oil change place and you're doing, you know, doing whatever, windshields, air filters, you know, whatever. I don't feel like this is for you. You want a good boot that has a steel toe in it, or if you want a good like work shoe, buy yourself a Red Wings, go to Cabela's, get something decent. I don't feel like these are the ones to do it. But then the first 6 hours I wear it, the tongue comes flying out after waiting a week to get this from China. Nah. I know I kind of jumped all over the place. I don't really do this in front of the camera. I also am not using my normal streaming setup. And this is just the standard laptop microphone. I just got off work, so I'm kind of just threw a shirt on and did this because I was kind of pissed and all his thoughts were in my head at the same time. If you're watching, thanks. I mean, I hope this helps. I think this kind of inspired me. I kind of want to buy like shitty random things advertised on the internet and advertise them now, or not advertise them, review them now, because I feel like we could save some people's time and money and not have to, you know, rely on deleted reviews from people that don't want their product reviewed poorly, or, you know, something dumb. I don't know. This product got some decent reviews, and I know why, because they're removing all the negative ones, and that made sense now. I scrolled through here, and the lowest ones I saw was like 3 stars, and all it said was, the shoe is a little too small. That was a 3-star review? The shoe's too small? I got a 1-star review, and I left the list, and it disappeared. So it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to, you know, cover up something or didn't want any bad press, because, you know, they're not going to back a product that's terrible. In fact, they are backing a product that's semi-terrible, in my opinion, and I just think that they should have kept all negative reviews up no matter what. Now, if Nike were to release a fly-looking shoe that was the same thing, I'd probably buy it, to be honest. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of Nikes, but I think it's a good idea. I just wanted it to work out, and it didn't. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully it's, you know, a little bit helpful if you're interested in these and you were thinking about buying one. Save your money. Use it towards something that's better. A name brand that's not Indestructible Shoe from Delaware who ships from China. So, anyways,